The produce safety rule requires all workers to be trained on food safety principles. These principles include personal hygiene, recognizing foodborne illness, and important principles relating to their job. Harvest workers must also specifically be trained on evaluating contamination risks and recognizing produce that must not be harvested, including produce that is visibly contaminated with feces, inspecting harvest containers and equipment to ensure they are functioning properly, clean, and do not show signs of contamination, and to never harvest dropped produce. Workers must be trained to recognize produce that cannot be harvested, such as produce that is visibly contaminated with feces, has signs of animal activity like bird pecking and animal prints. Animals are known to carry and spread human pathogens such as E. coli, Salmonella, and Listeria monocytogenes in their feces and spread contamination as they move. Therefore, it's important that workers know the signs of animals in your area and are trained not to harvest produce that might be contaminated. Workers must also be trained to inspect harvest containers before their use, ensuring they are functioning properly with no cracks or dents which might damage produce and are clean. Only clean, reusable containers or new single-use containers can be used for harvest. The produce safety rule requires that harvest containers, equipment, and other food contact surfaces are routinely cleaned and maintained on a schedule determined by the farm that is sufficient to prevent cross-contamination of these surfaces to produce. Workers should be trained to identify risks of contamination and what to do or who to tell if they detect an issue. Workers must also not harvest any produce that has been dropped to the ground. The physical action of dropping the produce not only exposes the produce to potential contaminants, but can cause microscopic openings or bruises that support microbial growth. Each farm should have a plan for handling contaminated equipment or produce and how to prevent it in the future. This is called a corrective action. If a problem is detected by your workers, such as workers harvesting dropped produce or using unclean harvest bins, the farm should determine how much and what produce was affected, dispose of or discard the produce that is potentially contaminated, retrain workers, and or change schedules to prevent the problem from reoccurring, and document what corrective actions took place. Due to the unique challenges on each farm should design specific protocols for harvesting their produce. Workers may require specialized training in addition to the regulatory requirements to ensure food safety when harvesting.